Hi, this is Scott Garibay. Let's talk about An American Pickle and American politics. All right, so An American Pickle is an absolutely brilliant new film by Seth Rogen. It's really incredible. Spoilers for American Pickle in this content. American Pickle is the story of a 100-year-old. Is the story of a man from an Eastern European Jew in 1920 getting pickle brined for 100 years, coming out and dealing with a app developer vegan Jew in 2020. It's a really fascinating movie. It has a lot to say about politics. It has a lot to say about identity politics. It has a lot to say about a lot of things. But one of the things I want to talk about today is a lesson that I think we have to, it's an emerging fact that I think we need to really consider as we look at the shape of politics and how politics may always be the same in who it attracts interest from. All right, and this comes from American Pickle. Let's talk about American Pickle. All right, so American Pickle is a brilliant film. You should absolutely see it. It is by far Seth Rogen's best movie. There's no... I've seen a lot of Seth Rogen movies. Superbad, Neighbors, Green Hornet, Pineapple Express, the one he did with Barbara Streisand that I can't remember the name of, quite a few more, right? And this new movie, American Pickle, the one he did with Charlize Theron, Long Shot, right? I saw that. I think I've seen the majority of, the one where, I think Knocked Up, another one, right? I have seen a lot of Seth Rogen movies, right? And there have been a lot of Seth Rogen movies. I also saw the one that he did with, was it him and, the one that got them into a lot of trouble with North Korea. Was that just James DeFalco? I'm not sure if he was in that. I've seen a lot of Seth Rogen movies. This is by far his best. But this movie has something that I've never seen, like, from Seth Rogen, so laser focused in, okay? Really, really fascinating subject. Let's talk about this, okay? And that is Seth Rogen fully embracing, at a level I have never seen before, his Jewishness, okay? And the fact that he is a Jew, okay? This movie is just absolutely laser focused on Jewishness. And the moment I finished this movie, it reminded me of a saying from a Jewish comedian that I saw on David Spade's show. So David Spade's show, I think it's canceled now. It was on like a year ago. I thought it was brilliant. I watched, I think, like every episode. I really, really liked David Spade's show. And he would have these comedians on and he would just talk with them. And he had a 30-year-old Jewish comedian on. And I'm so sorry. I can't even remember the guy's name, what the guy's name was. But he was a stand-up. And he said something that it just locked in my brain because I'm like, whoa, that's a deep saying. Right, and this male Jewish comedian said the following. He goes, "Listen, David, I am 30 years old and I'm on a clock. I got to talk to you right now about every single thing I can talk to you about that has to do with the normal world, right? He says, but since I'm Jewish and I know a lot of Jewish men, I know that right now I'm 30 and I can talk about anything in the world and I can have interest in anything in the world. But when I'm 40 years old, my interest in Jewish religion, my Jewish homeland of Israel, and Jewish heritage will double or triple. When I am 50 years old, there will not be a single word that doesn't come out of my mouth that isn't Zion." Right? And what he was saying is that he has seen many old Jewish men, and they have an arc, right? Where when they're young, they're interested in all kinds of things. And then when they hit 40, they start getting really interested in their Jewish religion and getting really interested in their Jewish heritage and getting really interested in the homeland, Israel, right? And by the time they're 50, it's just absolutely cemented, right? And I remember this comedian saying this on David Spade's show, and then it's like it was seeing it in real time in this movie, right? When Seth Rogen was 30, he was making 420 movies, right? Making fart jokes. He didn't care, right? But now that he's like 40, 50 years old, all he wants to talk about is this Jewish heritage. And this movie is incredibly focused on Jewish religion, right? Kadishes, sitting a Shiva for the dead, right? Honoring people by going to their bones in their grave and honoring them at their grave. None of this crematory nonsense, right? By the way, I am totally against cremation. I think you cremate an animal, right, and you call it done. Human being, you put them in the ground, you honor them. Human beings are worthy of burial, real burial, right? They're worthy of their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren coming and putting flowers on their grave. That's what's for a human. Cremation is for dogs and cats. No decent human should be cremated ever, right? Like, it's just, that's for pets. It ain't for humans, right? It's just how I feel. This movie carried that exact message, right? But it came at it from a Jewish perspective, right? So what's this got to do with politics? Well, I'll tell you what it has to do with politics. Woo! There's a lesson in here. Listen closely. Listen closely. Here's what it is, okay? All right, so what is the message in this film? Well, it's that when you're young, you care about 420 movies and fart jokes and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? But when you're 40, 50 years old, you hone in on what matters, right? Where is real power? Where is real value? Where is things that will be remembered? That's politics, baby. That's where the seat of power is in America. Politics, right? The things that, basically Donald Trump put in judges who will make decisions that will ring for 100 years, right? That's power. That's memory. That's heritage, right? And is written in stone, right? Exactly the same way that Jewish religion, Jewish heritage, Jewish family traditions are about things that matter and things that last. They're not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and fart jokes and 420. It's not. Seth Rogen is clearly leaving those subjects behind, right? And trading them for things of real value. And so what we need to realize on the blue and the red is we may be looking at a situation where people ain't going to care. People are not, you know what? Young people will never care about politics. It will never happen. Bernie Sanders cracked his ship open among the shores of the young people will save me. They didn't. They didn't care. The old people embraced Trump, and Trump won, right? Young people will never matter significantly in politics. That's what you will learn if you watch American Pickle. You don't care about politics until you're about 30, until you're about 40 or 50, right? And every year past, you cement it, but thinking that 20 and 30-year-olds will rise up and drop their remotes, drop their paramours, drop their their get-togethers, drop all these things that are frivolous, right? Which I don't besmirch them. I was there too. I cared about BMX bikes and comic books and skateboarding and other people I was interested in that age, right? Now I only care about comic books and politics and tabletop role-playing games, right? People's opinions shift. And we have got to learn there cannot be another nonsense election where some other fool thinks that young people are going to bring them to victory. They never will. It's a harsh lesson, right? But the reason I bring it up is I know people are going to forget 4 years from now. And I want it on record, right? You don't care about politics until you're 40. It's a fact, right? And if you watch American Pickle, you will see there is a transformation in Seth Rogen that has happened. You are looking at a fart joke 420 artist transformed into a philosopher, right? This is an incredible film. You have to see it. It's a lot to think about. The lesson is no American youth uprising will ever save any politician. It's got to be done with the old. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.